Hey guys, as you can already see in the background, today we are doing a tier list for all the British elites from S tier to D tier, where S is the best and D is the worst. I'm really interested in your opinion, so when this video is finished, let me know down in the comments on which card you maybe mostly disagree with my opinion. That will be very cool to hear. In the next video, we will take a look at the Japanese elites. So if you don't want to miss that one, make sure to hit the subscribe button. But for now, enjoy me creating that list and have fun and see you on the next one. Yeah, we start with the first air landing brigade, I guess. A card that got changed recently. It's now pushing the unit back into the support line of the enemy and then has blitz if the front line is empty now. I think this card is pretty okay. But I think I give it a B. I think there are some decks where it makes sense, like a delaying tactics deck, something like that, retreat deck. Then next we have ATS. ATS, who plays ATS? We saw some Brit air decks playing ATS, but I think it's worse than the air landing brigade, and usually, I don't know, I think it's a C, maybe it's a D, it's even D, I don't like it. I think it's really bad. Like there are not, I mean Brit Air is a deck that usually deals 3 or more damage a turn. But other than that, I think Land-Lease or Convoy are just better options than ATS. Also with ATS you kind of cannot really regularize when you want to draw or not. Regulate, not regularize. So then we have, what is this, Bullfighter. It's also pretty meh. It can be pretty good. I think when was it? When Fast Heinz was pretty popular. This card was just a nuts against Fast Heinz. With 4 attack and 4 health. Like a lot of these Fast Heinz units had 3 or less health. But in the current meta, I don't like it too much. I think I give it a C. Then we have the Churchill here. Churchill pretty strong. I'm considering it S or A. Like it's useless against air decks, but Brit Air not being that popular, I think I mean, knowing that there are cards like Monty and Shelling coming later, I'm not sure if Churchill is the same power level as those. I also like the stats on it. 7/7 heavy armor 1 with 5/7 is pretty strong, and the deployment effect is nuts. I think anyways, it's also way better than air landing brigade. Maybe we need S plus here. Should. Come on, we give it A. Then, what is this thing called again? Anybody knows? I don't know how this thing is called. Who's the first in chat? Comet. Yeah, Comet, exactly, but with a C. I'm not sure why it's not played that often. Maybe because it's not having blitz and it's just too slow. But it's not seen often, although it's a pretty decent tank. I think it's better than ATS. I think it's same power level as Bullfighter at the moment. And we have the Firefly. Firefly is pretty garbage. It has a cool effect, but with 8 attack there are not too many targets that it's not killing anyways. So only good against things like what is it even? Ignoring heavy armor, right? It cannot even kill a King Tiger. Wait, I really need a cards website here because I don't really know what all of these cards are doing because they're played so little. Firefly. I think Firefly is 8-5 and ignores heavy armor, right? Firefly. Yeah, ignores heavy armor. So cannot even kill the King Tiger. Only good against tigers. Pershing. Joseph Stalin. But with 5 health and no blitz ability. Garbage. Then we have His Majesty's Chosen. Maybe we hold this back until we looked at all the other elites, and then we can maybe say how good this is or how bad it is. So HMS Illustrious, a pretty good card. It was pretty strong in Brit Air and still is, because good synergy with the Empire Strikes. And it gives you 2 bombers with Blitz. So the card itself, it's not that strong. It's just, for 3 credits, you get 2 1-attack units. So I think that's why I give it an A and not an S, because it's only good with a lot of synergies. Like, you need close air support to make it pretty OP, and Empire Strikes, as mentioned. So stuff like, things like that are making it OP. I think just the card in itself is an A. Kitty Hawk. 3 credits, 2/3 stats, 2 damage to ground units. Is this in line with the air landing here? But it's not an A for sure. It's not in power level with Churchill and the HMS. Lancaster. Man, there was a time where Lancaster was on every Brit deck. Or on a lot of them. Then it disappeared. But when you don't have answers to it, and your opponent constantly attacking your HQ. B or C? I think it's way better than these 2 cards, so I think we give it a B. Long range desert group. Pretty strong in air decks, or even stronger in commandos, but with 5 credits also very expensive. Now how we're doing both. We are just valuing the card in general, like how good it is in specific decks, like long range desert group here. Makes no sense in the Commonwealth deck, but if you put it in an air deck, it can be pretty strong. So I'm taking the average of both, I guess. Like, how good is a card in general? Plus, in specific decks. Like Monty, you could put Monty here, right? I don't know. Out of the... Oh wait, the mouse cursor is back. Why? Good to have it, but I did not change anything. Crazy. So long range desert group. It's pretty good in commandos, as mentioned, but I mean, if your opponent is not having answers, it's... Let's give it a B. Then Manchester, that is the one that gives you precision bombing, right? The other one is a special, yeah, so it's not here. That thing gives you a precision bombing and is a bomber in itself. Good combo, but also pretty expensive to pull it off. I think I put it in line with these 2 here, Bullfighter and the Comet. And we have our friend here, Mr. Monty. Monty goes D, right? Monty pretty bad. Monty is top tier Brit card, for sure. Mosquito it is. On deployment, deals 3 damage to any enemy unit. I like Comet a lot. 3 damage is in range of so many good units. It's usually a really good removal. A or B? You can even play this in control. It's not just pure air decks. And 4-4. Is it really A? Is it comparable to Churchill? Okay, I give this one an A. But I don't agree, Abel, with the Kitty Hawk. Sure, it has a strong effect, but I don't like the 2 operation cost. Sure, this also has 2 operation cost, but you play this later in the game where 2 op costs don't matter that much. But Kitty Hawk is pretty dead against Jaguar, for example. Like, the operation costs are just delaying your stuff there too much. Then we have those Commandos, number 41, I guess. Commando's not too popular at the moment, but when they are on the board, maybe they need smoke screen. I don't know, make them a 2-2, give them smoke screen, stuff like that, then it would be... They have ambush, right? But that is also not doing too much. It's just in range of too much removal. I think I give it a C. Oxford. What is Oxford? I think Oxford goes D. Some decks try to use it, but usually you help your opponent more than you're just doing stuff for you. If it would just be your own units, then okay. But this is just too much randomness included in that one. Then we have the Pioneer Company. Pioneers. Honestly, I don't like them too much since they got changed to that the orders cannot cost below 1. I don't know. I think they're just, for me, they're just B at the moment. Then we have the British Royal Research. Royal Research. What can you get out of this? Stage 1 is Radar, gives you 4 health, plus draws you a card. Pretty strong. Synthetic Rubber, pretty strong. Then you get the Active Sonar. And Bletchley Park. So I think the Brit Research is... yeah, I think they're all kind of versatile, the German and the US one too. But I think the early stages are pretty strong for the Brit one. Considering S or A. Ooh, that's difficult. It's at least A for sure. Synthetic. I mean, it's... Okay. I would say Monty is still a little bit above this, but I think Research is better than a Mosquito, for example. Ruby Tanya, next one. Man, do you remember, guys, the time when there was Ruby Tanya in the meta? In tournaments? What happened? Disappeared. Pretty late game car. You need a lot of setup for it. I'm not sure if it's D, because if it goes off, it's pretty annoying and pretty strong. I think I give it a C, but not higher than that at the moment. Sexton Schmexton, yeah, I think we don't need to argue about Sexton. Sexton is 1000% S. Shelling also goes to S. Spitfire. I think even after the change, Spitfire is still an S tier for me. And Sunderland. I like the idea behind Sunderland, but 2-6. I think it's also C. But close to being D. 2-6 is just not doing enough. Also, the effect is not that strong, and it's also just too easy to remove. Commonwealth. A lot of new players complaining about Commonwealth. It is a pretty good win condition. I think Commonwealth is A. It's not S, because, yeah, if your opponent is playing a deck that heals, you would have a hard time to put it off, and also you need to get yourself above 30 to bring it into play, but if your opponent's not having the correct answer, it can be pretty good. So good to see that you guys agree there. Then Royal Ulster Rifles. Yeah, they've also been very popular when the Ruby Tanya deck was around, because there's a pretty good synergy and also eats a lot of damage potentially, like this counters Commonwealth, for example. But current state, not seeing that often. I really like the effect. Ooh, that's actually difficult. B or C? D. I think it's not a D. Give it a C. Because you can also just... The fortification is just giving you health, but you can also attack with this. So I think it's a better fortification, and you can combine it with Britannia or with naval power, stuff like that. So I think a C is good. I think it's not a D. Then we have Ultra. Ultra, also pretty strong because it's just replacing itself. But against frontline, for example, it can be pretty useless. For S or A? I mean, Ultra can change games, right? A really well-timed Ultra. I think I give it S. Then we have the Wellington, the final unit here. Oh, the change really hurt Wellington. I think the old version was S or A. I think the current version is on B for me. So since we looked at all the units now, at all the elite units, we can also just say how good His Majesty's Chosen is. Like, look what you can usually get here. Like, this is the bottom ground of units. We have 2 very good units. We have 4 good units in general. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 garbage units. And 3 like mediocre units. So I think Majesty's Chosen goes somewhere in between here. I think it's C instead of B. It's pretty bad. Yeah, that's it.